Hi, everybody, and welcome to the Insurance Journal's Academy of Insurance's special edition author conversation. With me today are the director of the Academy of Insurance, Mr. Patrick Raitt, and today's special guest. Today's special guest is Amy Waninger, and she is the author of Moving from Panic to Purpose. I beg your pardon. There is the cover. Beautiful looking book. Fantastic. Amy, welcome to the author conversation. How are you today?
Thank you for having me. It is so great to be back in the insurance industry for a little while.
Fantastic. Well, you're more than welcome to hang out as long as you want. That's why we're here. Amy, congratulations on the new book. And looking at your back catalog, you're quite a prolific author, and you have written books that are they seem like they're kind of specialized in terms of like networking, books about hiring, stories of courage and empowerment for super women. This one seems, not that the other ones aren't accessible, but this one seems like a bubble or an umbrella that anyone can read and gravitate towards. Do you agree with that? Is that what led you to create this book and do a slightly different book than the ones you had previously written?
Sure. So all of my content falls under the category of inclusive and effective leadership, and leadership that starts at any level, whether it's somebody just leading from their seat all the way up to the C-suite. But this topic is a little bit different. It's a little more personal for me. Moving from Panic to Purpose is born of my experience growing up in the late 90s, early 2000s, early aughts, in the tech industry before I came to the insurance industry, where I was, it was a tumultuous time in tech, as it seems always to be, but back then, really a lot. And, I joke that on the cover of the book that I've been downsized, right-sized, outsourced, outplaced, laid off, and otherwise asked to leave a dozen companies. And that's true. And so I took what I learned in the tech industry about constantly being ready to change, and I brought that with me when I came to insurance, where change was a little slower. But I noticed the people around me got more activated by smaller changes. And so because of my experience, I was able to coach my team members through changes that were affecting them. And, this book has been kind of sitting on my computer for a while. I thought I'd missed my window to release it a few times, but I think now is the right time given all the changes in the economy, the environment, the industries that I serve, whether it's tech, insurance, financial services, and so on. There's so much to be anxious about. And I want to help, lower the temperature a little bit.
Absolutely. When you share this book or the experiences in this book with audiences or one-to-one mentoring or group-to-one mentoring, are you ever surprised by the answers? Like, when you say, when you talk about people's dragons or what pushed your panic button or, what kinds of things should you be taking personally to motivate you? Like, are you ever surprised by any answers, or because this book is sort of born out of your wealth of experiences? I mean, you've gone through like a myriad of you, like you said, layoffs, career changes, things like that. So are you ever surprised by anything anyone tells you about, well, what pushed my panic button was this?
Yeah. So when I do this, especially in a group setting, I ask people if we have time and we have the right setup, I'll ask them to share with a partner or share at their tables what's got them panicked, right? What has pushed their panic button? What's the biggest, scariest change they're facing right now? And I always ask, based on whatever they've heard, whatever they've shared, did anybody have anything that was unique that nobody had ever heard of, experienced, or known anyone who's gone through? And the answer is always no. Where I think we tend to make ourselves smaller during change is we think we're alone. And when we find out that all of the communities of people around us, whether it's professional, personal, in our, geographic community, in our places of worship, in our the classes that we take, the associations that we belong to, everybody's going through something. And everybody is facing a change. Most people are facing a change that scares them. And so when we get down to that, and then we start learning that the people around us can be resources for us, can kind of help us fortify against what's to come, it really is. it's really empowering, not just as individuals, but as communities.
Absolutely. Thanks, Amy. Patrick, what do you think of the topic in general of just pushing past panic towards a more positive mindset in general, and Amy's book and her take on it in particular?
Well, first off, I am a proponent for change. I mean, not change for change sakes, but if we're going to change something up, let's do it. I have lived in. I've probably had more addresses in my adult life than most people do in 70, 80 years. But one of the things I appreciated about the way you're telling the story, Amy, is kind of your self-awareness as you flesh things out, right? You in chapter 2, you talk about sitting down and having a conversation with your feelings and the negative feelings that you've got. You kind of just have that conversation and tell your feelings, thank you for your perspective. You can go back to sleep, whatever. You can go away now. And you make the point that it seems or sounds silly. And as I read that, yeah, it feels like something that I wouldn't be comfortable doing. It seems like something that I wouldn't probably do of my own volition. And at the same time, if it works, it's not nearly as silly as it sounds, is it?
That is true. And, I think our unpleasant feelings are kind of like, I think I talk about this in the book, kind of like a small child with a musical instrument, right? If they walk in the room and say, hey, check this out, and they play a bunch of racket, right? And you ignore them, they're going to do two things. They're going to get louder and closer. And our feelings are the same way. And a lot of times when I do this as a keynote or a workshop, I bring balloons. I have balloons and Sharpies on the table. And I have everybody find the feeling in their body that they don't want to have and just blow it into a balloon and get rid of it. Draw a face on the balloon if it's angry or sad or anxious or whatever it is. And then have a conversation with it about, what am I supposed to learn from you? What is it that's challenging my values or threatening my identity? And then once we have that conversation, I invite them to just let it go. They carried that unpleasantness in with them, whether they realized it or not. Now they get to choose whether they're going to carry it out. And some people choose to hang on to it, but some people do choose to let it go. And that's a really vulnerable moment for people, to let go of something that they've been holding on to, right? Sometimes our rage is really hard to let go of, or our anger, or our fear, but knowing that everybody else in the room has those feelings too can really be an equalizer in a room and help people open up.
Yeah, and see, and it's one of those things where people may have cycles where they let those things go, and then as they've let the balloon go, then they go chase around the room, see if they can figure out which balloon is there, so they can pick it back up again, just in case I might need it one of these days. And the arc of your book is very much the arc of a story, where and we all play different roles in different stories, right? In our own story, we play the role of the hero. I mean, we're in the center of the story, right? And at the same time, we also play the role often of the guide in other people's stories. And how do you embrace that kind of dual purpose there, where now as public speaker Amy, author Amy, you are a guide for people, and at the same time, you're still Amy. You're running around trying to figure out what's going on next, or how we're going to get through this thing. Uh, so, how do you like that duality, or is it just an extra pain in the neck for you?
No, I love it. And the reason I love it is I think that it's important that we center ourselves and we understand where we are in our own journey. But I also think that part of the reason that I'm here on this earth is to help other people with theirs. And, you know, if I couldn't do what I do, I can't believe I get to do this, right? Like, I wake up every day getting to do what I love, what fuels me, what I think I'm best at. I think I'm really good at this work. And, it's nice to set my own stuff aside, right? If I've got something going on in my personal life, or there's some problem in the business that I need to go fix, and somebody comes to me and says, hey, this is what I'm dealing with, help, right? To remind myself, one, I have the tools to get through this myself. but two, I've created these tools that are valuable and usable and repeatable that get others to the other side of what they're going through. And I mean, my goodness, is there any better calling than that?
Sure. No.
Absolutely not. I don't think so. I think it's amazing. And yeah, I think you touched on something that was kind of something I was going to ask about, but you touched on it was that you can't just read this book and go, okay, well, I'm empowered forever. Like I like you, the book seems to give the reader tools and mindsets to keep on like the care and feeding of a hero. Like I've been in a couple spots in my life where I was laid off a long time ago with a baby on the way, and I was not in a great place while job hunting, and really needed to be my own hero, like, and kind of find that the reasons to get up and do whatever. I had all the reasons I needed, but just reinforce that sort of mindset. And I love those, the care and feeding of a hero and be your own hero. Those are a couple of ideas and chapters that I gravitated towards. And I think this book probably has something for everybody, so
Yeah. Can I tell
congratulations.
you a secret?
Please,
I did
please.
I did a workbook version of this book in 2020 when we were all going through the pandemic together, because I felt like people needed some tools to manage. I mean, right? It was weird. It was a weird time. Friday we were at work, and Monday there was nowhere to go. Everything was closed, and we were all stuck in houses with whoever we lived with at the time, which hopefully were people we liked, but not everybody had that luxury. And it was a wild time. And I released the workbook and I got it out and worked through it myself. And every once in a while, if I'm going through a big change, whether it's, you know, I had I lost all three of my grandparents in a couple of years' time, like very close together. Um, the pandemic, I've had changes in my business, I've had changes in some relationships. Uh, I get the workbook out and I go through it just like it's brand new to me. I've got a stack of them that I've gone through to kind of work through my change journey so that I can figure out why is this such a problem for me right now and what's my best path forward.
Fantastic. Thank you. Thank you. I don't know why I just felt like saying thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you
I
for
mean, we
creating this
all we
book.
all struggle is my point. And it's, these are tools that I keep going back to time and again. So I hope others will as well.
True. Patrick, any final thoughts on the or final for now, I guess.
Final for now. Well, first I was going to bring up, if you didn't, Amy, the workbook that came first, which uh, why not buck the trend? Do the workbook first. I mean, in all practicality, if the workbook's done right, you can work through it, and this becomes a complement to that, kind of a help. And I know that you've done the workbook with live sessions and keynotes and things like that. And so it's a wonderful piece that, many times you get a good book and there's a lot of great things in it, but there's no practical, how do I go from A to Z by step by step. And the last thing I wanted to mention was I had the privilege this week of being in a class with a mutual friend. He says you're friends. If you're not, just admit that you're friends already, will be fine. My good friend Mike Caselny.
Oh, I love Mike.
Yes. We were doing a train the trainer here this week, and he brought up the hula hoop
Oh, wow.
in our class.
That's been years since he's seen that. That's amazing.
So, yeah.
Thank you, Patrick. That touches me because I think that's a visual. So the hula hoop, for those of you who haven't seen the keynote, I bring a hula hoop with me on stage and I have everybody stand with me and just visualize their hula hoop as a reminder of what you actually have control over and what you don't, and where you need to start anytime you want to change anything. So thank you for that.
Amy, where can we find your work, your books, your mindset, can you tell us about where we can purchase all this goodness? And also, can you tell us about leadatanylevel.com, please?
Certainly. So leadatanylevel.com is where I live. I'm also on LinkedIn at Amy C. Waninger or at Lead at Any Level. And the books are available on Amazon. This one is coming out end of September, early October, somewhere in there. So if you don't see it yet, just keep refreshing. We'll get there. But it's coming out soon. And you can always join my mail list and get updates as well. But I am thrilled to finally have this book out into the world. The reviews, the early reviews that are coming in have been really positive and really encouraging. And I really hope that this helps a lot of people. I am available for keynotes, workshops, emceeing. Put me on a stage. I love it. And I'm also available for training and assessments and workshops inside companies as well.
And once again, where can we purchase everything?
On Amazon.com, or you can go to my website, leadatanylevel.com.
Wonderful. Amy, such a delight to have you here. Thank you so much. I feel a little better than I did half an hour ago. So thank you for that. And I don't know, I wasn't feeling very good a half an hour ago, but here we are. And you, I don't know, you helped me think about not connecting to things, but wanting to connect to things. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to take that somewhere else and make a good thing out of it. So thank you so much. Thanks for everything. It was great to meet you. And anything we can do to help spread the word besides this,
George,
we will. Yes, Patrick.
Don't we also have Amy coming to the podcast?
We do. I was going to say that again. Thank you. So on the next Golfertainment, George and the Florida Insurance Men podcast, Amy will be our special guest. So we hope you're looking forward to that. It's going to, bring your TAM, bring your golf outfit, bring your Florida insurance woman outfit, whatever you want to do. We're
bring the hula hoop.
Yes. Yep.
It's a much more serious conversation.
Yep.
Okay.
Should the audience for the next episode bring their own balloons or what?
That would be wonderful.
Okay.
And I'm going to tell you a secret. I don't golf.
That's okay.
Okay.
That's okay.
I golfed one time.
A third of the hosts don't necessarily golf much.
Okay, perfect. I went golfing once. Putt I can do, but I'm not a golfer.
No, putt-putt's great. That's golf to me. It's all good. Amy Waninger, Patrick, great. Thank you so much for both of you for coming to this author's conversation. On behalf of our author and our special guest, I'm your host, George. Thanks everyone for coming to this, and enjoy it. Go check out Amy's work, and we will see you next time. Have a great day, everybody.